Our next story is from Central Africa. In a high-stakes battle unfolding in the Democratic Republic of Congo, tech giant Apple finds itself at the center of a controversy. The Democratic Republic of Congo is mulling legal action against Apple. The country has accused the Silicon Valley powerhouse of using minerals that it says were illegally mined in its territory. Now, the DRC claims that these minerals were smuggled into neighboring Rwanda. Their source of origin were then allegedly blurred. The Democratic Republic of Congo says that Apple is linked to false labeling of the minerals in Rwanda so that they can be sold as a part of the global supply chain for technology products. The country is being represented as a group of international lawyers who are based out of France and the United States. The minerals that are in question are tantalum, tin, tungsten, and gold, and all are important for the manufacturing of electronic devices. These minerals, grouped together, are collectively known as the 3TG. In the Democratic Republic of Congo and surrounding countries, they are referred to as quote-unquote conflict minerals. They are often mined under conditions that fund armed groups and exploit local populations. So their extraction process involves human rights abuses and unethical practices. The Democratic Republic of Congo is one of the world's leading producers of tantalum, followed by Rwanda, and numerous armed and rebel groups operate in the Democratic Republic of Congo, all of them vying to gain control of the illicit trade in rich minerals. The country has been gripped by violence and conflict since the 1990s. Tensions resurfaced in 2021 when an armed group called the M23 started capturing parts of the country. Rwanda has also been accused by the UN and Western countries of supporting the M23 rebels in a bid to control swathes of land rich in mineral reserves. The Democratic Republic of Congo's lawyers accuse Apple of knowingly sourcing these conflict minerals. Now, this implicates Apple in aiding a supply chain that indirectly funds armed groups. The tech giant has already received a formal notice. It was issued back on the 22nd of April to Apple's CEO Tim Cook. The letter, titled Blood Minerals, warned Apple of discontinuing this practice. And here's what the Democratic Republic of Congo's letter to Apple said. It has become clear to us that year after year, Apple has sold technology made with minerals sourced from a region whose population is being devastated by grave violations of human rights. The iPhones, Mac computers, and accessories that Apple sells to its customers around the world rely on supply chains that are too opaque and that are tainted by the blood of the Congolese people, unquote. Now, this is the main crux of the entire controversy. Amsterdam and Partners, the law firm representing the DRC, has written a 53-page report outlining its claims against Apple. The government lawyers also held talks with President Felix Tshisekedi to discuss the course of action. Apple, meanwhile, denies any such malpractices. It said it regularly audits smelters and refiners in its supply chain, and that its supply chain doesn't directly or indirectly finance or benefit armed groups in the DRC or any adjoining country. On Thursday, DRC's lawyers criticized Apple's brief and dismissive response. They said that the response reeked of arrogance. Now, the DRC's legal team has convened a meeting in the capital Kinshasa, and they are exploring various legal avenues. They suggested similar legal challenges could be initiated against Apple in multiple countries around the world.
Fan of Italy's famous cuisine? Well, we are serving it with a side of diplomacy. As the G7 leaders gather in southern Italy, Vantage is taking you to the heart of the action. What's the agenda? Who is invited? And how is Italy preparing for it? Catch the special edition of Vantage throughout this week, only on Firstpost. Fan of Italy's famous cuisine? Well, we are serving it with a side of diplomacy. As G7 leaders gather in southern Italy, Vantage is taking you to the heart of the action. What's the agenda? Who is invited? And how is Italy preparing for it? Catch the special edition of Vantage throughout this week, only on Firstpost.